I'm Daniel, the Past Life Regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy each and every time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. My question for you is, what is a spiritual experience? Does it need to be an experience where you're sitting there dressed like a monk, dressed like a hippie, dressed like a Buddhist? Maybe it has nothing to do with dress at all, but what is a spiritual experience? That's my question for you. I believe that what transpires in the coming episode is a spiritual experience. So again, the question I want to pose for you is, what is a spiritual experience? And if you would like to book a regression with me to discover who, when, and where you have been throughout time, you can reach me on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist or my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin. Edward, thanks so much for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Before we jump into who is Edward, my first question for you is, what is your favorite song about time and why?
My favorite song about time. See, I wanted to ask you that. Now, what did you mean about time? Like, is it specifically about time or like time travel or having a good time or a bad time or is it just about time in general?
Whatever it means to you.
Well, one of my favorite songs that comes to mind, the first one, and it's funny because of all the things that are going on in the media about this person, but it's the Will Smith song "Summertime." So it's the one song, "Summer, Summer, Summertime." That song right there.
Big Canton wine.
Yes, sir. Exactly. So I love that song because it's first of all, it's a great song by one of my favorite actors. Very positive, and I mean it's about a good time, having a good time in the summer.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You gotta love Will Smith. Well,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no one's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. I don't know what's going on right now with all of that, but hey, all I know is whenever those people that are higher up in the money pool and whatnot, and that's always on TV, they have a lot going on that we don't see. We only see what they show us, and they have a whole 23 to 24 hours of stuff going on before we see that just 1 hour of them, So I don't judge him for what he did. At the end of the day, it is what it is. He apologized. Hey.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So who is Edward?
It's been a while. Still figuring out, parts of that. Overall, he and I are somebody that just love training, love helping people, but most of all, just love being spiritual in the sense of looking at what's there, but it's just hidden, especially when it comes to just the way that everything works out, because a lot of time when we first born, we only see what we see, but we don't see the unseen. We don't see what we feel, So when it comes to really just getting into that, that's me. I like getting into that. I like getting into the unseen, and I like to just see what it is, I like to experience it, and overall, just helping people.
You mentioned training people. What kind of training is that?
Personal training. I love doing personal training because that's the first and easiest thing that you can do to help heal yourself, to work out, move your body.
Let me get this straight. Hold up. So you're a spiritual guy and you're a personal trainer? I mean, I already know this, but really? Those two go hand in hand? I mean, I know they do, but I don't feel that that's the stereotypical image of what, a quote unquote spiritual person is.
It's true. Because I mean, a lot of times you see, like a yogi or a guru, and you'll see them, they'll be super spiritual, but not to talk about their physical looks, but they don't look like people that are very physically fit, as you would say. Now, on the contrary, a lot of these people are very, very fit, especially because they do a lot of breath work, yoga, meditation, and other physical things that aren't just working out. So they're physically fit in a different way. But I know you wouldn't really expect to see a really big muscle bound guy meditating, let alone getting into the lotus position, because he's probably so big and tight he can't even get his arms to fit together. But no, I do, and I love it, and it helps me work out even better, to be honest, because it takes my workout to a whole new level, especially when you add the breath work, especially when you add the focus, the meditation, just the zoning in. It helps do a lot of the stuff, especially without pre-workout and other things that you may think you need.
Well, just for everyone listening right now, you may hear some bass in the background or some thuds or some music or some doors closing and opening, because Edward's in the office at a gym right now,
Yes.
which I think is so
Yes.
cool. That's what you're hearing. Awesome. Does everyone know
My
what you're doing
apologies.
right now? Oh, no. It's perfect. Do they know that you're in the office recording a spiritual podcast right now?
Yes. They know.
Oh,
They
that's
know. I
pretty
told
cool.
them. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be on important calls and spiritual, so try not to come in and out and whatnot.
For whatever reason they come in, we'll say hi.
Yeah. No, I'll let them. I'll tell them what's up. But no, people they know I'm very spiritual here as well, because I'm always carrying on my crystals. They'll see me meditate. They'll see me just do breath work, and I'll talk about it with them. To be honest, I'll do group training classes, personal training classes. I talk to people about how spiritual I am and how life is just spiritual. Like, it's not physical in the least. And I know it sounds crazy to say that, but life is so spiritual, it makes it physical. Like, just think about that. Life is so spiritual, it makes it physical, but we get caught up on the physical that we forget the spiritual.
I think that the problem with the term spiritual is that some people just have that association with what spiritual is supposed to be, while not taking into consideration that, I mean, I've talked about this on the podcast before, that brushing your teeth can be a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it may sound ridiculous, but
No, it's
Yeah.
true. It's very true.
so just so everyone has the background on Edward is someone I met a little over a year ago. I did a session with him, and I just thought he was a really cool guy. Yeah, sorry to break it to you, Edward. I just thought you were a cool guy. I enjoyed my
I
time with
appreciate
you.
it. Same here.
When we were talking before the session, first I was saying to myself, when is this guy going to have his own platform, his own podcast? And then it came up during the pre-session that he had it in him, that was
Yeah.
on the horizon. Fast forward a year later, and Edward and I were talking a little bit before I pressed record. And as he was talking, I was sitting there thinking to myself, all right, just going to keep talking right now, and then I'm going to ask him what's going on with the podcast. And he brought it up first. He expressed to me just some of his hesitations with creating a podcast and expressing his views, which I understood exactly where he was coming from. And I'm encouraging him to start a podcast, because, as I'm sure you guys have already picked up, he's an amazing communicator. He's a very personable guy. And I feel he's someone who's here to really change a lot of lives and the lives of those people around them. So I wanted to shift gears a bit. And we're originally going to talk about Edward's past life experience, which he's going to come back on. We haven't set that up yet, but Edward, you're going to come back on, and we're going to do another episode for that.
Most def. Yes, sir.
But I saw this as a potentially quote unquote spiritual experience, because I just thought it would be cool to give Edward a platform to talk about whatever he wants to talk about, whatever he's experiencing, whatever's coming up for him. I want to see him out there in the world using his voice and just changing lives. So, Edward, let's talk about that. This is where I wasn't prepped for this. So,
It's okay.
so what gets brought up in you as I was giving that little intro about you with regards to the hesitation? Where does your mind go?
Oh, when it comes to the hesitation, it stems obviously from just, past traumatic things as a kid or as growing up, just, being very opinionated and talkative, but being told not to talk so much. And from that, I started to be quiet, but then I started to talk more. And, throughout my life, I just seen a lot of people, they didn't really agree with the things that I said. Then fast forward, I realized that it wasn't the things that I said people didn't agree with. It was just the way I said things. So now when it comes to the hesitation, I'm worried that I won't say things in the best way, because I know me personally, I can be very aggressive in general. So when it comes to me speaking to people and speaking from the heart, because if I'm gonna speak to you, that's where it's coming from. I speak from the heart. I'm very blunt, I'm very straightforward, and I'm very honest. Now I do have my times where I'm a little bit opinionated or a little bit biased, like anyone else. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure I'm conveying the right message in the right way to everyone, and that's more just why I'm hesitant. And then because of the way things are transitioning amongst the masses, or the consensus now with people, and again with the way things are said or what's being said, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to say, have a video and then people attack me because of one sentence that I said in a whole video about love, but they just get stuck on one sentence or in the way I said that sentence. And I don't really want to go through that, because I don't want to put that energy out there to where people feel that it's okay to attack, someone that's on the platform trying to help. Because that's what I see a lot of when I see a lot of people do spiritual videos and podcasts. They have a very good traction, which is great, but I see a lot of people that are still just fighting that person or just mad at that person for, yeah. But just to, I want to make sure I say the right things, because
Sorry, we have our first visitor.
Yes, that's just the owner, my man. But yes, I just like to make sure I say the right things, because again, I want to make sure everyone is not only understood, but they're loved, And you might not feel the love from a video that someone makes, but you may have to watch it a couple of times, and then eventually you'll realize that, man, this person was speaking from love. And with a lot of things that's going on right now, I know it's hard for people to see that,
Okay, a couple things.
Mhm.
First, thank you for sharing all that,
Oh, my
because
pleasure. Thank you for asking.
it's real. Second, I hate to break it to you, but you're always going to piss someone off.
Yeah,
You know,
that's,
You're always going
yeah.
to piss. You could be, God, you just fill in the blank of whatever it is you're saying, the most benign and harmless thing in the world. You're always going to piss someone off, because someone's going to be like, why aren't you being more forceful in the way you're speaking? Why are you just being so tame? You're always going to piss someone off.
That's true.
Here's the good news for this podcast today, though. If you say
Mm-hmm.
anything that's going to offend anyone, I'm going to take the heat for it. So you got free
I don't
reign.
want that.
I don't know.
want that.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, because you're always going to piss someone off. You're
Yeah.
always going to piss someone off. But the thing is, that's a reflection of them. That's not about you. Like, you're triggering
Very
them.
true.
So, because let's go back to that example of, you should have been more forceful. What? He's spreading a message of love. Why does he need to be more forceful about that? Or,
Right.
someone saying, you shouldn't be so forceful about your message of love. Well, why? That's the way he's delivering it. He's not hurting anyone. He's not being, getting at anyone in a way that's harmful to them. He's just expressing himself. So, Edward, I hate to break it to you. You're always going to piss someone off.
That's true.
There's
That's
always
true.
going to be someone you're going to piss off.
You're right. I have a bad habit of trying to be a people pleaser, trying to keep everybody happy. But, like you said, you make a lot of people happy, somebody around is going to be sad
Yeah.
or not as happy.
Yeah.
So, no, you're right.
Yeah. So stop depriving the world of your voice because of those few assholes.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And if I do say anything offensive to anybody, don't give him any of the heat. You could go ahead and you come to my Instagram and go ahead and send that to me if you like.
Yeah, but they're not going to listen to you there. They're just going to, because if they're, you know what I mean? Because the
Yeah.
two words, oh, you gave him a platform? Yeah, I did. And I'm standing by
That's
it.
true. That's true. That's true.
So
It's all right.
I got me.
They do
I got
let
me.
me
Don't
know.
worry about me. I'm good. I'm good.
I'll be there. I'll be there in the comments. I'll watch for you. I'll let them know what's up. Mhm.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So with all that said, filter off. Edward, what's coming up for you right now? What is it you really want to say? However benign it may be or however intense it may be. I want you to have the floor.
Well, it's right now, from the way I see things, a lot of people are very distracted. And whether that be distracted by media, whether it be distracted by, things that are going on in people's lives around you, or whether you're distracting yourself with little mundane things in your life. A lot of people are distracted. Me personally, I see it as as how should I say? I don't want to say a plan, but I see it as that's the way things are just supposed to go. At this time right now, a lot of people are going to be distracted. That's just what it is. But I don't like that. I would like people to wake up more, become more aware. In a sense, I don't really like the wake up thing. I like to say aware because it's universal. But I would like people to be more aware just of what's going on when it comes to the politics, when it comes to the actors, when it comes to the rappers, when it comes to just all these people that we see on these boxes that we watch and use all the time. They're really taking us away from spirit, taking us away from the universe, God, the creator, whatever whatever your creed is taking us away from that. Especially nowadays, what's to come. Now, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't, and not to say that I know that I'm very super intelligent to where I just know what's going to happen, but I've studied history a little bit. I've studied a little bit of politics. I've studied a little bit of just what's going on, what I see, and I just see things are not getting any better. They're getting very bad very quickly. Now that's just my take on things. Now, yeah, there's a lot of positive around the world, but I'm pretty sure, at least in everybody in America, can see that things are not going the best way, and they're not getting any better. And I think a lot of people we all just need to become a little bit more aware, and most of all, just unify. Like, don't worry about what that person believes. Like, as long as y'all look at the same enemy as y'all's enemy, that's all that matters. Whether he wants to take care of the enemy through peace, and you want to take care of the enemy through violence, y'all can take care of the enemy however you see fit. Just remember not to go at each other, unify, because that's the biggest thing. I see a lot of people just being divided over just mundane things, things that don't even matter, things that we were lied to about, or just misinformed about. And it's sad to see it. And that's why I say I would like for people to become more aware. Now, that's hard, like just in general, because where do you start? Well, I would say the first place to start, as always, is within. Start within. What are you not noticing about yourself, or what are you running away from within yourself to where you feel that you have to constantly be distracted? Like what's in your life right now that you don't need to be doing or need to put that much time into, but you're putting that much time into because you're running away from something. So that's the main point I would like to talk or say.
Oh, we've got 18 different directions to go from there, so you're doing great.
Exactly. So that's one of the things.
First thing I want to bring up when it comes to awareness is you brought up history there, and that you study history. And I think one of the most important expressions in history is that history repeats itself. Mm-hmm. People are idiots when they don't understand that.
Very true.
They're damn fools. Okay, with that said,
very true.
Things repeat themselves in new ways too. So you talked about spreading awareness. If we're going to go back to the history of our country, awareness was spread in taverns back in the 1700s. That's all it took. It was taverns. And I believe that, yes, a lot of political things going on are just distractions. Look, I don't talk about my political beliefs, well, really ever on the show. I think what I'm about to say, it's important for me to state right now that I do fall more on the liberal side of things. Mm-hmm. I do. However, that doesn't mean that conservatives are the enemy.
Right.
It doesn't mean that the conservatives are the enemy at all, because I think that that's the distraction there. When I look at the words being thrown around right now, anti-vaxxer, racist, anti-truckers, or whatever it may be.
What's the other one that? Mm-hmm.
I wonder what they would call the people who started the Boston Tea Party now. I wonder what that, because we know history repeats itself. How were they branded back then? How would they be branded now? Now, this doesn't mean I have to agree with everything that people are doing, but I do have to wonder why people are being labeled as such. Because with the trucker movement, come on, it is anti-mandate. It's not anti-vax. There's a reason it's being labeled that way. I don't need to agree with it, but it's just understanding that there's a lot of deception out there, or there's a lot of agendas at play. Why do they want me to see truckers is anti-vax. I don't know,
Right.
maybe some of them are, but I think it's an overgeneralization to label
Yes.
all of them as such when they're things
Exactly.
anti-mandates. Now, anti-mandates
Right,
is more than just about anti-vax. So I've already said those hot
This
button words for this.
Right.
So already pissed a few people off. Oh my
Yeah, a
God,
little
he considers himself a liberal. Now let me say that even though I consider myself a liberal, I also like to say that in a perfect world, I would be a libertarian. But we don't live in a perfect world, which for anyone unfamiliar with the libertarian political ideology, they're more on the side of just hands off everything.
Yeah.
That's why I
they're
think
just
in a perfect
you
world,
think-
hands off everything. In a perfect world, though, I don't believe we live in a
Yeah.
perfect world.
we don't.
So
And this world's probably not supposed to be perfect.
right. So I mean, I bring up my political leanings there because I think it's very important to point out that I'm being told that conservatives are the enemy. That's what
Exactly.
I'm
You're
being
told that.
I'm being told that, and they're not. They are not
Experience
the
that.
enemy. Because the thing is, if you go and sit down with them and you strip away the labels, you actually find that you have a lot of things in common with them.
Yeah, exactly. They're literally just like you.
Yeah. Well, they're not as cool as me, but that has nothing to do with
Exactly.
politics.
They're not as cool as you, but
Not
exactly.
as because
That's their
yeah.
personality.
Yeah, that's what it is. Nothing
Exactly.
political.
Exactly.
So that's my feeling on that. And you brought up a plan. You used the word plan at the beginning of what you were talking about. So what's the plan you were alluding to?
Well, the plan is, I mean, it's not. I don't want to say it's a plan like it's just this elaborate, complex plan. Like, all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and do this, and then we're gonna go ahead and break in the bank, and then we're gonna go ahead and trip the alarms. No, it's just simple things. Really, just get back to what we used to do. Just not watch as much television. Go outside in nature more, be around your family more, not be on social media so much.
Edward, you're dodging.
What do you mean?
You're dodging right now.
What am I dodging? Oh,
You're dodging
okay,
right now.
I see what you mean.
Well, you're
So-
safe here. I'm taking the heat for giving you the platform. You're good. You're totally safe.
The plan is more just for people to just stop being distracted and just get their heads out of their asses, like none of these labels matter. Like if you want to get a vax, get a vax. If you don't, then don't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, cause we're all here for the same thing, Like if you believe in liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, none of that matters. Cause at the end of the day, it's literally there just to divide us. Like the key plan or the key phrase is divide and conquer. The more we're divided, the easier it is to conquer. I'm not trying to say that they're trying to conquer us because they've already done it. But I'm just trying to say that they're definitely distracting us and they're definitely dividing us. At the end of the day, unity works best. At the end of the day, when you get down to it and you let go of all these things that we don't need, you just go right to, face to face to people, family, friends, all of that, start talking about things that may push some buttons or tug some strings, things like that, just to get more of yourself out, because a lot of people wear masks. Like a lot of people wearing masks, and those masks are on for a lot longer and a lot tighter than what they used to be, especially after the quarantine, because a lot of people just used to now kind of, that 6 feet apart type of deal. That never left. Some people still close to some people, but it's still 6 feet apart from everybody else, which it hurts, Like open up, be real with yourself, leave the distractions alone, do your thing.
I personally, even before the pandemic, I'm always someone who opened door handles with my sleeve. So
Well, that's
once
whatever.
it was socially acceptable to be wearing plastic gloves out to the grocery store, I was in heaven for a couple months.
That's how
there
I
in
feel
that
about
respect.
mask a little bit.
And
Right. I felt a little bit
just,
like that about masks because I like hide myself.
yeah, that was just me there. But that's a side note. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying correctly with regards to the plan, though. Whatever this plan may be, I feel what you're really saying is the way to counter it.
Yes.
Is
yes.
to go back to what is simple.
Yes.
So anytime you find yourself getting swept up in the plan of divide and conquer, which is pretty much everything, then it's important to take a step back and just really tap into what's important, which is simplicity.
Yes. And this is something that I've always thought and I've always lived by for a while. But recently, I left the country for the first time. Went to Costa Rica. It was amazing. One thing I learned that people there, they're happy, not settling, not complacent, but they're happy. They're happy because they realize the value of what they have. No, I'm not saying that they don't have phones. I'm not saying they don't have social media. I'm saying that they're happy. They're complacent, like not complacent, but they're just happy, and they add value to what they have. They don't let anybody else add value. Like they go out in nature every day. You know, a lot of them they meditate, not even knowing it's meditating because it's just such an everyday thing for them. You know, they just call it living. You know, that's what we need to get back to where meditation is just living. We need to get back to where healthy eating isn't healthy eating, it's just eating, you know? Like connection isn't building a connection, it's just I have a connection with so on and so forth to where you don't have to be like, oh, well, we have to get through talking about this and talking about that and talking about this to see if we have a connection. No. Walk up to somebody, you'll know if you have a connection or not, you know, just a few words. And that's what I mean, just getting back to the basics, you know? Again, we get swept up with all of these trinkets, you know, and they're nice. Like, don't get me wrong, I love them. I use my phone all the time. I watch TV. I love anime, you know, but at the end of the day, like it's mundane things. We don't need it. We forget the real mission while we're here. To get back to the original mission, we have to get back to simpler thinking, simpler action, simpler things like this. Again, getting back in the nature of meditating, eating the appropriate amount, not overeating, and make sure it's clean, you know, not as many chemicals.
What other ways do you find yourself getting back to simplicity in your life? How do you see yourself stepping away from the plan, in quotes?
Just going to the forest, going into the woods. Now, I'm not talking about just some random woods where it's like coyotes and werewolves and stuff. I mean, just, you know, a park that has a lot of nature to where you can look around and it's not hard, but, you know, you won't see a street light. You might have to look through a tree or two to see a street light or a power line or something like that. Just get into nature. Leave your phone. Don't even worry about music. Let nature be your music. Let the air, the wind be your music. Let, you know, just your footsteps be your music. Things that are like that. Another thing, something that a lot of people don't do. When you get in the car, don't turn on music. Just drive in silence. Drive in silence. Someone cut you off, let them. Drive slow. Don't even go home as if you're going home. Just drive. See what happens. See what comes up in your head. You know, see what you think about. When you're cooking, don't listen to music, don't watch TV, just cook in silence, you know? Same thing about eating. A lot of people, they forget that they're eating. They'll eat and watch TV and then realize there's nothing left on the plate. Forget TV, turn it all off, just eat. Look at your food. Pay attention to the colors, you know, taste the food. Do all of that because it's gonna make a big difference when you realize, you know, just little things like that. I say, like, sometimes I'll go home after a long day of work. I won't do anything. I'll just put all my stuff down. I'll just sit there. I'll just sit there, no TV, no music. I'll probably have one light on. And I'll just sit there and I'll just go over the day or go over tomorrow or go over last week or just go over whatever I feel like I need to go over and just sit there and just be. Don't be distracted. That's my way of getting back to simpler things. And there's other ways. Some people go into to the bath, and just take a bath and just sit in the water. I did a sensory deprivation tank. Those are awesome. Where it's a little white pod, you go in and there's salt water. It has a small little light, plays music if you want or not. You go in for an hour, you just float in the water. Turn on, you close the pod if you want, pitch black, no music, nothing, just float. Feels like you're floating in space. Amazing. One of the best things I've ever done. But things like that, you know, just unplugging, literally unplugging, like how to say in the Matrix. I love that movie.
All right, let's check in with Edward right now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great.
How'd that feel, though? Like, how did that feel?
It felt really good because I just started talking.
Tell me more.
Well, I mean, everything was just kind of just rolling off the tongue. It was almost like a freestyle, but I'm not freestyling because, you know, I'm still making sure I'm not saying the wrong things. I don't want to sound like an idiot, but I'm just making sure I'm speaking from the heart.
Boy, you obviously haven't listened to my podcast then, because I sound like a dumbass half the time.
No, you don't. You make some really good points, and you know you're just funny. You know that's just personality. I think dumbasses would be more of somebody just talking about things that they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, half the time I don't also. But
You sound like
I mean, I bring that up because I think it's it's okay. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with saying stupid things, because there was that old me who was just like, no, I can't do that. I can't go and talk on a podcast because I'm going to say stupid things. Now, I don't say these stupid things purposely. I'm not be like, I'm just going to say this stupid thing for this reason. I'm like, whatever. I've said enough stupid things. It makes it easier every time I say another stupid thing now. I don't knock my head against the wall as much as I used to. It's so
Right.
it's like you stop caring to
I'm
a
feeling
certain
that.
extent, and
Yeah, I'm
it
feeling
gets
that.
much easier. And I'm a dork. I own it. I'll even call it out sometimes. But man, I'm a huge nerd. I'm a huge dork. I thought that was funny when I said that dad joke.
Oh, I'm the same. My girl tells me the same thing. She's like, "You're so corny," and I'm like, "That's cool. Popcorn's good." So a lot of people like corny stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's okay to bring out that stuff and to be okay with looking like an idiot, because it makes everything else so much easier. Like, I was having this conversation with someone earlier today about, we were talking, this is someone who wants to become more public in just their standing in the world. They're not looking for more notoriety for the sake of notoriety, but they want to have a bigger platform in order to help more people. Yet we were talking about the fundamentals of their life now and how there are some important conversations that need to be had at a very basic level with just people in their life. And how I had mentioned that for me, once I started having those more difficult conversations and I wasn't so worried about walking on eggshells, that I saw it translate out into my external world more, where then I stopped feeling like I was walking on eggshells in public. Because I'm like, the hardest thing was pretty much to walk on eggshells personally. And it was just a cakewalk after that once I got into public. It's just,
Okay, I get what you're saying.
it's corny central. I'm like, whatever. Let's say, yeah, I sound like a dumbass sometimes. Well, I sound like a dumb smartass. Let's put it that way.
Okay, I see. Hey,
Yeah.
there's some dumb smartasses out there.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass.
Hey, that's
but
what I tell my mom.
Right. It makes it so much easier when you don't have to constantly have your head over your shoulder.
Yeah,
Looking behind
back.
you. Yeah, because it's just
Mhm.
like, oh, whatever. I'm just going to keep pressing on. And
You're making
And I commend you for just letting that free flow happen today, because, even when we were talking beforehand, I could feel just that hesitation in you, and you went for it. But that's the other thing, is you didn't come into this knowing that was going to happen. And neither did I. This wasn't planned. The only thing that was planned was that we were going to be recording today.
right.
So you even threw yourself into it when you had an expectation of the way something was going to be, which, Edward, you've come a very far way from when I first met you.
Hey, yeah, yes, I have.
Very
Yes, I
far
have.
away with that.
Man.
So again, I commend you for that, with having
Thank you.
I don't know if there was an expectation for what you thought was going to be this recording today, but whatever it was, you threw it to the side and you just went with it. And I think that's amazing. I absolutely think that is amazing.
Thank you. I'll try. Hey,
It's so cool that you went for it. It's so cool.
well, that's one of the things I'm working on, because I realize I do hesitate a lot and I overthink too much. And it's just like how you said, you made the offer, and I was like, well, you know what? Let's do it. Why not?
And you did
You
it.
know? Right.
That's what
And you're-
matters, is you did it.
Right.
It doesn't
And
matter
I
that you
think I did it
hesitated for
because I
5
needed to.
seconds. You did it.
Right. You're right. And the reason I did it is because I felt like I needed to do it, because it's something that's going to push me forward in my future endeavors. So yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm. And then there's me being selfish also, because I'm, saying to myself, oh, he's going to do a lot of good things for the world. So if he's out there with his own platform, then yay, he's helping the world, and I'm helping the world by proxy.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to give as much back as I can, because I see a lot of people out there struggling, and I see a lot of people out there lost. And over the time and years of me trying to help people, I realized there's a specific way to help people. Don't go to someone to try to be that light, because all you're going to do is either blind them or you're going to burn them. Just be that light from afar and let them get to you. As long as you keep your light on, they'll get there.
So, Edward, you have your microphone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have your headphones. You have the equipment. Well, when are you going to start your podcast?
So I'm gonna make it a thing to make videos and podcasts and starting this today, like this month of April. That's actually gonna be one of my things I'm working on is the podcast and or YouTube, whichever one I decide to do. I think I'm gonna start the podcast first because the video I have to get used to that. But yes, I'm definitely gonna be doing that this month, starting it. I had a name before. I think I'm gonna change the name again. Maybe overthinking.
You're
Maybe not.
overthinking
I
it.
don't know. Probably.
You're overthinking it.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, most likely because I do overthink, but I will be starting this soon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is what I needed to get me back on.
I'm happy to hear that. And just thank you for coming on and embracing the unknown.
Hey, thank you for, having me on and helping me, be there to embrace the unknown,
It's my pleasure.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
where could everyone reach you?
So y'all can go ahead and reach me on Instagram at ET_the_PT. Or sorry, yeah, ET_the_PT. There we go. And it's THE, not THA. And that's my Instagram and my Facebook. You can also just type in Edward Thomas III, hence that's the ET. And yeah, that'll be where you can find me. When it comes to the podcast, I'll be releasing information on my Instagram, as well as videos on working out, proper form of working out, spiritual motivation, spiritual help, and just other people that also do spiritual things as well, and as well as physical things. So I like to just make sure if I'm not promoting myself, I promote other people that have a like mind, like I do.
What he's basically saying is that I'm going to be a guest on his podcast.
Yes, exactly. So y'all watch out for that. Probably gonna be like my first guest, maybe the second.
Really?
Because I want to make sure. But if you're put it like this, you'll most likely be the first one to upload because I might have a guest before that to practice. Because I don't want you to be the guinea pig. I'd rather have someone else be the guinea pig, and then I'm like, all right, cool, professional time. Let's start with Daniel.
I appreciate that. I'm happy to be the guinea pig also. Wherever you want to put me, I'm just happy to be there. Because I love listening to the sound of my own voice. Sometimes. Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a sesh with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.